Hello, everyone, and welcome to UFRL Formula Racing Tier 3 around Imola today. I'm your host, Parkour, obviously, and we are going to be having an interesting one today around the Italian Grand Prix. Very excited for this Tier 3 race. Let's get everything updated. Imola now is obviously very interesting track around Italy. We have 10 drivers today, hopefully scoring points for their teams. We've got Priv Widget, UFRL William, Warrener, who is our race winner, I believe, from last race. DD Friend, Cinders, Kezanet, Shazam, Cowley in the Williams, 50 Gent, and Iceman. Now it is going to be a very good race. I'm hoping Imola obviously has that long straight, a few good taking opportunities. and everything, and should be good. 19 corners in total. That first DRS straight leading into a nice chicane, high speed, as we have an Alpine there, Prib Widget going out. Then you have Sector 2, the tight section there, going downhill before getting into the quick right-hander. And then up to the third sector, we have that tricky chicane, which is very difficult track one, the two left-handers, and straight up to the line. Now, your championship standings. Okay, so it's just Warrener today with his ending pen. Yes, Warrener, if you can hear me. Yeah, so just do that for your engine pen. Anyways, we'll look at the Tier 3 standings and privileges going around. Currently haven't got the updated standings from Tier 3, but Iceman was leading the way. But if I look at the race results from what I remember, was DD Friend. Yes, DD Friend won. Oh, yes, I apologise. Warrener came in second, but DD Friend won. I leave with that win. DD Friend should be ahead in the standings and should be the first one. However, we obviously don't have the standings right now. So I will have to update you later on. But yes, welcome in everyone. Here we go then. Privilege is going to be the first one out lap. It's looking a bit overcast around here at Imola, which is very, very interesting. I'm excited. I haven't even got any of the track map up as the Alpine starts his lap and just go on board and get the tyres up and everything. Going through this first sector, burning a lot of ERS to get into turn one. How much does he brake? He brakes a little bit. Ride on those curves pretty nicely there. Making sure to not too much. There's a bit wide there going into that corner there. And then we got these high-speed chicane, obviously. You don't want to brake there pretty much. And only brake a little bit going into the next corner. And then into the hairpin. He's actually warming his tyres. So I believe he's not on a lap right now. Yeah, he's bailed out of his lap. As he didn't invalidate, but I think he's just warming his tyres up a bit more. As Cowley is on for a lap now, he's burnt a lot of ERS to go on the first, but he's invalidated, so he will probably be going down to none and restarting his lap. As now Kesnet is going to be the next driver going through here across the first chicane and into the next sector. Can we get Kesnet on provisional pull at the start of this race? That will be a joy sight to see as he sends it through there, right to the curb way too much, and goes into the gravel and saves his ERS to potentially go again. Then the RB of Shazam is going to be the next driver coming through on his lap. He's going to be the first one actually setting a lap, I believe, but no, he's on none, so he's not. He's just getting around. Looks like all these drivers are not wanting to set laps right now, and they're just warming up their tyres, so it's going to be hard to be able to tell where people are, as Privilege goes fast with a 125.3, but I don't believe that was a proper lap. I believe he started his lap now. We'll have a look at Cinders, who looks like he is on the hot lap, as he has set a purple first sector in the Ferrari. Let's go and see what he's able to do on this lap then, going through here. Make sure not to ride that curb on the outside. Don't pull the George Russell, please, as there's a yellow flag ahead, making sure that he's not getting invalidated by the cars ahead. Yes, he does not. Up here then into overtake, getting to the chicane as best as possible. Is he going to be able to hop over that chicane nicely? He gets through it pretty nicely, I would say, and gets over up into overtake through that third sector now. Is he going to be able to set a good time, as Kesnet gets a 128.9, but obviously these are not laps that people are setting properly. They will be setting their laps most likely now, as up to the line goes Cinders. Ferrari burning all his battery as he can. What is it going to be? A 116.5 is your benchmark for the rest of the drivers. At Privilege has invalidated. Kesnet is not on a lap right now as he's in none. Who is the next driver on the lap? Cowley's the next one on a lap. Actually, no, he's starting his lap now. My apologies. Shazam is going to be the next driver in the lap as he set a purple first sector. I didn't see how much he was improving by compared to Cinder's lap, but we will see if it's up on anything, as Warrener has now retired into the pit, serving his engine penalty today, so he will be starting from the back if Iceman decides to not set a lap, which he will most likely not do, as he does that every time, obviously. Now, going through here, Shazam, through this final sector, is trying to use all of his battery as he can, getting up that RB to the top as best as possible. He's been showing some decent pace recently. Can he show it today around this high-speed track? Let's see, up to the line, what's it going to be for the RB? He's got tons of ERS to burn. It's a 117.4. It is currently 9/10 off of Cinders, and we'll need to find that time. He did get a purple first sector, so maybe he has a lot of not much downforce, my apologies there. As we go on board with Cowley, who looks like he's going to be the next driver setting a lap. Going through the final sector, these drivers are going to be pumping out lap times now. Maybe they overfueled, but looks like Cowley's using all his fuel. 117.9 goes into P3. William is on his lap now. It looks like some drivers are into the pits. There's a rare RB of 50 Gent starting his lap. So it looks like William is going to be one of the next drivers to start a lap. Keznit is trying to start a lap, I think, now. It's Priv Widget. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. He goes fast as a 116 flat. I'm so sorry that I missed that. But it looks like that is going to be the pace he is setting today. As we'll go on board, who is going to be the next driver? It looks like Shazam is setting up for another lap. It looks like all these people are just currently setting themselves up the lap, but we're still on board with William as he set a purple second sector. Now, I was in call with this man last night. He said he was setting somewhere close to tier 2 times around here. So I'm expecting some good pace from the Mercedes, as long as he lives up to it. Let's see what he's able to get to. Shining out in Imola, it seems to be the Williams. William in the Mercedes. Here we go then, up to line, use all of his ERS, 116.7. That's a lot slower than what he was setting last night. Can he improve on that? Potentially he might be able to, as Keznit, it looks like he is improving, but he's on none and is into the pits. Steve Friend is going to be your next driver, but he has invalidated. 50 Gent is your next driver on a lap, sorry, as he goes up to the line. Now then, Cinderfella, welcome to the stream. Let's see if you're able to grab pole position today, as you're currently 5/10 off Priv Widget, but you might be able to grab that pole as long as you're setting the good pace. Everybody is into the pits now, basically, as 50 Gent looks like, is he starting a lap? He's on hot lap, but he's not going for it, so I don't believe he's on a lap now. Cowley is out of fuel, and he is going into the pits now. William is not on a lap right now. He is saving up, but he has got, looks like he has enough fuel to go again. DD Friend is invalidated, so he's right behind William. Might be able to get that tow off him. As we go through this next bit, we've got 10 minutes left of qualifying now. Are these drivers going to be able to challenge up the top, or is this going to be a clear-cut pole position for Priv Widget, who is on the oldest tyres, set the fast lap on the oldest tyres, as the Alpine is trying to get a tow off of the Mercedes, but the Mercedes is the first one to start a lap, so let's see what he's able to do. Going through this first sector now with the DRS wide open, and the ERS making use of it as best as he can, hopping through these curbs, making sure not to invalidate, gets really close to the line there, but does not validate up to the curb, has a little bit of a snap, but controls it well. Through then this next left to right hander, trying to carry as much speed as possible, and he's carrying tons of speeds. Purple first sector, 5/10 up already on his time. This is looking like a stonking first sector. Can he improve in the second and third? But DD Friend will be getting a nice tour behind him, up to the line and everything, as he gets really close to the edge of the curb there. And might have cost him a little bit of time, but he's looking like so much confidence right now. Up fast through that little right-hander, up to the bend and over the hill. Now, through this third sector, he's still improved by 5/10. Not the quickest second sector of the session, but he is certainly looking quick as of now. Can he gain all this time through the third sector in these next two left-handers? Let's see then. Is it going to be possible for the Mercedes to grab another pole position like he has so done in this season already? Or is DD Friend going to try and extend his championship lead with the pole position point? Up to the line goes William. He goes second, but there's DD Friend. That tow has definitely helped him out. Look at the time he's gained, 4/10 ahead of his teammate. It's an Alpine 1-2 right now. And the Alpines are licking their lips, and DD Friend is licking his lips at the championship lead right now. Very, very interesting. Keznit is the next driver on an out lap and is going to be starting his lap now. Is he going to make any improvements to get up? He needs to put a good lap in to even get into the top 7 right now. But he might be able to get into the top 6. But he's went wide again. He's just missed his braking point a bit too much there. But it doesn't look like he's backing out yet. It looks like he's just going to go for it through this then quick left right-hander. And he's went a little bit wide there, has not invalidated. Is improving on the time, but I don't think he's improving as much as he wants to. The kickstart really needs to improve his lap here to get ahead as he has his teammate right behind him, with his teammate showing good pace last time round, and he's went wide and has invalidated. That is the invalidation he was not looking for, so Cowley will most likely be the next driver to set a lap. These drivers, William and DD Friend, might be into the pits, but DD Friend is not into the pits. He's actually going to start another lap, hasn't got the benefit of it drag along by the Mercedes this time, but is he going to be able to get a good time in on the softs? Looks like the softs are not wearing out as much as these drivers. I think these drivers are happy that they're not wearing out as much, as he slides through the first couple of corners and goes a little bit wide there and does invalidate, and that might be his next runs over, so he might have to go back in to get new tyres. Cowley is going to be the next driver who is going to be starting a lap. Actually, Keznit looks like he might be trying to start a lap on a little bit low of DRS than I think he initially wants, but the Kicksauber might be able to do it. Let's see what he's going to be able to take up into overtake into the first corner. Don't outbrake yourself this time, Keznit. Just try and send it through. There we go. Get through cleanly and get through this next corner without invalidating. There we go then. Gets a good first sector. Let's see. Can he get this good left-right-hander? Cops the curb a little bit, making sure not to run wide. And he doesn't run wide this time. And he gets through 1.6 seconds up on his time through the hairpin now. And up to the curb, trying to get on the traction as quick as possible. Then getting up into the second sector, up over the hill and into this quick left-hander, not running wide, and uses all of the curb to make sure that he gets through here now to the quick right-hander, and then up over the hill. Don't go wide, Keznit. He's went wide and has invalidated. I'm sorry, I might have put a bit of a commentator's curse on him there, but Keznit just is not able to get a lap put round here. Improved by 6/10 though is the Williams. He could improve to P5 here on a good lap, and he might be able to get a quick tour from the Kick Sauber, it looks like, through these last couple of corners. As long as he links them up pretty well, gets through here, don't have a little slide out, and onto the ration goes. Overtake and up to the line. What's it going to be? 1:16.9 improves to P5 there, he does, and he's 4/10 behind Cinders. That is a decent lap from the Williams, and he's most likely going to try and go for another one after this. William is the next driver out on track and will be your next driver setting a lap now for UFRL. As we do have an update in the championship standings, actually, DD is your championship leader. The Alpine is 4 points ahead of Iceman. And then you have 50 Gent in P3 that RB is sending up, and Cinder's in P4 right now. He'll be wanting to make some gains on those ahead of him. Priv Widget in P5 and Shazam is in P6, tied on the same amount of points as each other. And then you have Gooders in P7, but unfortunately Gooders is not racing with us for now. Keznit in P8 is just bringing home the point, and it's managed him to get into the top 10 right now for his race as William starts his lap now. William and Coles in P9 and then P10. Coles in P9, just 1 point behind Kez, but it's not intended to get that ahead of him. And William in P10 now is hoping to gain some points. Warrener, one of our newer racers, already 50 points in this championship, and he's doing well. Cowley is in P13 with 22 points, just behind Jack, who is unfortunately not here today, as he's dealing with some stuff, I believe, as William has invalidated and is backed out of this lap. Looks like it might be Cowley or Keznit. Keznit is on that lap, so it's Cowley going to be setting the times next, as we are just on board now with the Williams. Welcome everyone, obviously, to the stream. I hope you enjoy the stream and are going to be having a good race here, hopefully in tier 3. It's very nice to have you all here and watching with us. as Cowley has run out of fuel, so I don't believe he's setting another lap. No, he's not. He's into the pits. William is going to be the next driver, probably setting a lap, as he is now up into overtake, as the Ferrari is now out of the pits and is on an out lap, and the Alpine as well is joining him. But let's see what William is able to do. Can he improve by just that much? About 9 tenths he needs to improve by to get up to DD Friend. But DD Friend might improve on newer tyres. And this could be one of William's last laps. So we have only 2 minutes 30 to go. If people want to improve on the laps, they need to be out now. William, up into overtake through this first sector, goes past the current man on pole position, DD Friend, and gets through a hairpin. But he's invalidated. He has invalidated. Could that be his lap over? Why is he in overtake? I was about to say he should probably go non-right about now, so he's able to get enough ERS up to the line. Let's hope he has enough fuel to finish his lap. So we'll go on board with Keseneta, who has not invalidated yet and is up by 1.1 seconds, and into the hairpin he goes. Slidey through there and getting up to the curb. But is not invalidated yet as he goes up to the second sector, up over the hill and getting through this bit now nice and cleanly into this little quick right-hander, not going over the line and getting through there, but runs wide. He looks like he just keeps running wide at that turn every time, and he's going to have to somehow save all of his ERS through these last couple of sectors to be able to set another lap next time around. So we'll go on board with Cinders, who is going to be the next driver, but he's actually not setting a lap time. He looks like he's just warming his tyres up to go against after this lap. So we'll go on board with William, who has got DD Friend right behind him, and DD Friend is going to be wanting to improve to be able to get onto pole position to extend his championship lead by another point and get through. William now trying to dive through here, gain as much time as possible and gets through, but he is down on his first sector. But it wasn't the first sector that he was worried on, it's the second sector where he needs to gain all the time. The Mercedes now trying his best up over the hill. Can he ride this curve, getting there through quick? And he does, getting there through as nice as possible now into the quick right-hander. Does he lift? No, he doesn't. He sends it through the curb, hops it a bit over. Really trying to send it now and get onto that pole position. He is up by 1/10 and a half. Now through this third sector. Can he improve to pole position? Can he get through it? The Mercedes needs to be able to try and challenge for this lap, but he needs to find 9 tenths, and then he probably needs to improve by a bit more than that to be able to get to where DD Friend is. But he is improving. Purple first and purple second sector. Could it be a purple third? Up to line now. What's it going to be from the Mercedes? He does improve by 7 tenths, but only goes second. And Priv Widget is going to be trying to set a lap. DD Friend does not improve, and into the pits he goes. Priv Widget, Keseneta, is going to be the next driver setting a lap, and he is improving finally. 9 tenths, 9 seconds, has not invalidated. What's it going to be for Keseneta? It's still going to be P8 or the 118.8, but does finally improve. Priv Widget, can he improve to get ahead of the Mercedes? He does not. He runs wide at the last corner, and he's staying in P3 currently. Unless Cinders does improve, he has not improved. He is also out, so he is in P4 right now. Is Cowley? No, he is invalidated as well. Shazam is improving on this lap, and he's got his teammate right behind him. Can the two RBs challenge for pole or challenge for a podium qualifying right now? Up to line, what's it going to be for the RB? Up to P5 he goes, gets ahead of Cowley, but cannot get ahead of Cinders. 1/10 ahead of him. What does 50 Gent do? 50 Gent up to line. He improves to P6 just behind his teammate. These two teammates are always together, the two RBs. But I think that is the end of your qualifying now. And that is the end of everyone's session, as nobody else is improving or has invalidated, unfortunately, for them. So we have DD Friend is your Alpine on pole position. William in P2. His DD Friend's teammate Priv Widget in P3. Cinders P4. The two RBs P5 and P6 consecutively. Cowley in P7. Keseneta in P8. Warrener with an engine pen P9. Iceman, who did not set time, in P10. Oh, Cinders apparently binned it. But that is qualifying over and done with. We will now have 5 minutes. 5 minutes before we get going again. So let me just make sure I get everyone told 5 minutes. Hopefully they will all see this, but that is your qualifying over. GG's DD Friend. He's extending his championship lead. and is getting ahead as best as possible. But yes, that is your standings right now. Let's just quickly check race director. And there's a lot of invalidate times, but no collisions between anyone, no penalties. But yes, that is your pole position, DD Friend, with William just behind him. It might be a close race between pair, but he might have DD Friend might have privilege it backing him up. We have the 5 minute break now, and then we will be back racing around Imola. And we are back, and we should be getting going pretty much now. If somebody wants to ready up, I will tag everyone um, to make sure that we are going. Unfortunately, we did not get a timer, as Viva so kindly does in his lobbies for some reason. So we will just have to hope and pray that we manage to catch the start of this race, which we will, obviously, but to be prepared. And that as the fans, obviously, you can see up there, are ready for the Imola Romagna Grand Prix. Hopefully, it is a clean race for Tier 3. And it is good, as there we have the little beep, 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 showing our 10 seconds. And we are getting going for this Italian Grand Prix. Now, it is going to be 5 red lights. And away we go for the Imola Grand Prix. Didi Friend gets a decent start there. There's a bit of a slip at the back for Kezinir. Cinders is already ahead of William. William has dropped down so many places. He's trying to have a look on Priv Widget right now. Priv Widget has managed to get a good start and behind his teammate Cinders is now up into P2. There's Warrener already making up good positions, going for the move on Shazam. He goes into the good move there as he gets cleanly past the RB. Keznate, his teammate, trying to have a little look around the hairpin there, but does not go for the move. William has lost so many positions, trying to gain them back, is now past Keznate, but there's an RB of 50 Gent trying to get on both of them, and he does get up alongside the Mercedes. It's a close battle here. Does he get through on the Mercedes? The Mercedes go wide, so does Keznate, and that looks like everybody was just pushed wide. Iceman is now just trying to avoid that carnage. Cowley has dropped down, and Keznate has dropped behind and has to take avoiding action going off the road. 5th Gent has lost out time to his teammate as Warrener is trying to get back past Cinders and take that engine penalty out of the equation. But he is right on the back of the Ferrari right now. The Ferrari's lost out to Priv Widget, and the two Alpines are trying to run away with this and to get far, far away from the carnage behind. We'll stay on board with Warrener. Is he going to be able to get the move done on the Kick Sauber? The Kick Sauber looks like Cinders into the pits and speeding into the pit in 10 seconds. What has happened there is he had to change his wing. We will go on board now. He is changing his wing. Yes, it looks like that. Unfortunately, he has to have that wing change unfortunately, it looks like he had an incident. William is Warrener. What's happened to Warrener? What has happened to Warrener? He span back there. Unfortunately, he has span, and he is down the positions, and that engine pen is now reeling his head back as he is so far behind now. Behind these people, and he's going to have to try and play catch up as best as he can. Cowley is back up to P6 and he's trying to make his way onto the Mercedes, but now look at that. Shazam is 3.5 seconds back on the RB. Evening Martellion, and welcome to the Imola race. The teammates Priv Widget and Didi Friend might be starting to DRS swap soon as they try and gain an advantage on these few drivers. Be looking out for track limits on all these drivers, as it is very prone around here to be getting track limit penalties. We'll go on board with the Alpina Priv Widget. Is he going to go for the move his teammate? We'll go on board to see the tyres now. Looks like everyone has chosen mediums. Warrener though on the hard, so you're still going to go and try long as Priv Widget sets the fastest lap of the race. Opens DRS. Is there going to be a little bit of battling between the two teammates? He's gaining into turn 1. He's looking over the inside, but he backs out of it. Does not send it. Didi Friend goes a little bit deep there as we go on board with William. Has got past Shazam now and is already behind Shazam's teammate 50 Gent, who's in P3. Can he get back onto the podium positions, and can he chase after the top two? It looks like 5th Gent though has gained time already on Priv Widget, and the Alpines are just starting to lose a little bit of time already while on this third lap. As Warrener is trying to claw back time, and he's clawing back up to his teammate already. And this is a beautiful shot, I must say. Let's hide all that UI. And this is a beautiful helicopter shot as Warrener has left the session. We'll have to get him back in quickly. Let me just invite him quickly to get him back in. As I have not... why can I not invite him back in, please? Why is it not letting me invite back in? Oh, there we go. As we'll try and stay on board with the team, the Mercedes team, to be able to make sure that he's getting up as Keznate gets a 3-second time penalty warning. The Mercedes is close enough to the back of 5th Gent and might use the DRS. Come on, Alpine, says Poochie Head. as they might be going good results now. Didi Frances the fast slap of the race, his teammate right behind him, but will most likely not go for the move as the Mercedes is trying to get close to the RB, does get up the inside and does go for the move in turn 1, but sends it deep and over the gravel. The Mercedes goes, and now Shazam gets past and he's lost out a position there while trying to go for one, and now the teammate Shazam is behind his teammate and can defend off the Mercedes to make sure his teammate secures P3, but we've still got a long way to go in this race. Is Warner back in? We'll have a look. Warner is still not back in. Kesnit looks like he was running wide, but he's still on the back of Iceman. Iceman not showing the best pace around here, as we'll stay on board with the Williams. He pushed that hard. Yes, he is pushing hard to try and get back up, as we will just send another invite out to Warner while we have chance to make sure he gets in. Warner, I have sent you an invite. If you hear this, I have sent you invites. So hopefully you're able to get back in as soon as possible. If it's not letting you load, make sure you just reset your game potentially and get back in here as soon as possible, as Warner is now 9 seconds off behind his teammate. There he is, he's back in. He's got a lot of time to make up now, as safety cars might be able to help him in this race, but we've had no safety cars so far. There's a slip from Shazam there, slip, and he rides the grass a little bit there, but the DRS of the Mercedes is going to help the Mercedes out to get past him up into turn 1, and he does get past him easily there with the DRS. Shazam trying to have a little look back but cannot get the move done as easily, and William gets up into P4 a little bit easier than he did on his teammate, and now William can try and use his pace to chase after the RB, but it is setting in here. There's already gaps set out amongst the field, and this is going to be the closest battle between the 3, 4 and 5 position, fighting, battling for that last place on the podium. Lunch is on me tomorrow if we bring a home a 1-2. Poochie, as long as I get a bit of that lunch, perfectly fine by me. But anything can change in this race, and William is not looking like he's getting enough time to gain on the RB of 50 Gen. He was showing great pace in qualifying, and now unfortunately that pace is not rearing its head, which it needs to, for these drivers to catch back up to the Alpines. Let's see how it goes for the Alpine team in this race, as Shazam has managed to stick with the Mercedes, and they might have to start considering a DRS swap to start catching back up to those up ahead if they want podium chances. But this is looking good for the RB team right now, as Iceman is trying to gain time. Kesnit has lost out DRS on Iceman. Iceman trying to gain time on the Williams. Is Shazam going to go for the move? He's gaining up in turn 1. He has used his ERS a bit, and he's right alongside the Mercedes up into turn 1, but he is clearly ahead and goes in turn 1, now P4, as they are starting to gain on their teammate. As long as they're not battling too hard, they can start gaining time. Cowley gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and unfortunately that is going to set him behind Iceman, but he's right ahead of Warner and everything, and Warner is not getting as much time as I think he wants to on all these drivers ahead, as he needs to start putting in the groundwork with them hard tyres. Potentially the AI had ruined that race. As I haven't seen any incidents so far, which has meant that this has been a clean race. Let's go tier 3 and let's make sure that we bring this home. 6 laps into this race now, and it looks like everybody's just settling in. Proof Widget has settled nicely behind his teammate, and it's going to be a 1-2 unless Proof Widget starts considering the race win, as I think he is showing pace, and it looks like he does want to potentially win the race, as he keeps getting close to his teammate, and he might be going, hey, I want to be ahead soon enough. Will he go for the move though, as he opens the DRS, and he does open the ERS, and his teammate moves out the way, and up into P1 goes the Alpine. This is not showing dominance, as they are DRS swapping to get away. I don't know what is. There was a green flag, yellow flag behind. Potentially Cowley made a mistake, and he's lost out a lot of time already, as William gets up in P4, sent it a little bit deep. Shazam trying to cut back on him, tries to go around the NC, switches back to the inside, but does not work out for him, and the RB has to settle behind again, back onto P5, and they're just starting to lose out a bit more time to 50 Gent, who is 3 seconds back from the Alpines ahead. Could 50 Priv Widget potentially consider breaking DRS and having a little bit of fun? And I'm just kidding, but he might be trying to pull away from his teammates, just have a little bit of fun to say, I'm the quicker driver, let me go for it. But the teammates are evenly matched, and he is now a second ahead, which means DD Friend might start losing out on the DRS unless DD Friend can get back in. Will Privilege slow down? It looks like Privilege might have slowed down a bit to just give his teammate DRS. Keznit gets another 3-second time penalty. Is Widget on a rampage due to his race ban last week? No, Drac. Unfortunately, he got disconnected earlier after he had a spin. And is down there after serving an engine penalty as we're on board with William. Will DD Friend get ahead back of his teammate? He does. He goes around the outside. Cutting a little bit close there, but Privilege, it just backs off, so they both get through turn 1 cleanly, and they are trying to set into P1, P2, but they're not gaining as much time as I think they would want to. They actually lost time through that lap to 50 Gent, so maybe they might need to just go faster. It looks like Priv Widget has got the pace on his teammate, but he's obviously not wanting to challenge his teammate who's in the championship lead and cause any Alpine dynamics this race, as crashing would be awful for the two teammates, especially when they're in a 1-2 right now, as Iceman gets ahead of Cowley, tries to go for the overtake, a bit close there, goes the Aston Martin, but gets ahead of Cowley round the outside, and now is up into P6 and try and chase down the leading pack, but they're not showing the best time. Willie gets a 3-second time penalty now for track limits, and did I see a little bit of damage there, or was it just the road between these two here? I think potentially it was just the road. As the Williams is dropping back now, and unfortunately is not as close as I think he wants to be. As 50 Gent, where has this come from? Was there a mistake for those ahead? As suddenly 50 Gent is now chasing after the two Alpines, and he is right on the back of them now. DD Friend luckily gets DRS from Priv Widget, but Priv Widget is trying to pull away. Shazam is now ahead of his team of William, and they're trying to catch up to the lean pack, but if they start battling up ahead, then potentially 50 Gent can gain some time on the two Alpines, and the Alpines lead is now looking not so comfortable 9 laps into this race, and the Alpines could be starting to be put under pressure from the RB now, who, if these RBs get close enough, could be starting to, get both of them a chance to get up ahead, as William is right on the back of the RB of Shazam, but is not going for the move this time around. Will probably most likely be waiting for DRS, but 50 Gent is right on the back of DD Friend, but DD Friend is in the DRS of his teammate and might be able to save him there unless 50 Gent has got more battery this time around. DD Friend have a little bit of slip. 50 Gent getting through there nice and smoothly, is wanting to get close. DD Friend has already lost out to the DRS of his teammate. I think he was not within the 1 seconds, and 50 Gent might be licking his lips right now as Priv Widget's wanting to start pull away, and DD Friend might lose out here. Does he get the DRS? He does not. So going for the move will most likely be 50 Gent, as he's skidding, he's using his ERS round the outside. He goes into turn 1. Does he defend it? The Alpine does defend it, and there was a little bit close there, but I don't believe that there was any contact, as I didn't see any contact. I think it was really, really close listen, and now 50 Gent is ahead of DD Friend, and is now up into P2 as DD Friend has a slip back there. That is an unfortunate slip, and that has brought William and Shazam up into this fight already for the podium and potentially to P1 in this race. So that is brought them right back into it. And DD Friend is going to be fuming at that, as he's now lost out the DRS of 50 Gent. 50 Gent can start using his speed now to gain time on Priv Widget ahead. The Alpine 1-2, which was looking so secure at the beginning, has unfortunately not worked out for these two drivers. And now they're going to be battling amongst themselves, all for these podium positions. William is now right on the back of the Alpine of DD Friend. And will he go for the move this time round? I presume he will, so as he's getting right up close to him, already within 6/10 of him, and now the DRS is going to help him. But remember, the Mercedes has to combat with that. Time penalties into the pits goes DD Friend. He wants off them tyres. He says, nah, get these mediums off me. He has unfortunately give William DRS, and that is not going to help him on his outlap if they decide to pit. As 50 Gent goes a little bit wide there. Looks like he was just around a little bit grass a little bit there, but does not get any grass tyres and is trying to gain time now as Iceman is DD Friend's championship rival is now ahead of him, but DD Friend is the one to make the pit stop. Can the hards go towards the end, as Warrener is now ahead of DD Friend? Could Warner potentially use DD Friend to get all this time back that he'd lost out in the beginning? As it looks like a long time, but remember, Warner still has to make a pit stop. So if he can follow DD Friend through and gain all this time back, potentially he can make up that pit stop already, as he has shown some good pace around here. So we'll go on board with Shazam, who was losing a bit of time to William, but William is not getting within that 1 second that he needs of the two ahead. Not giving time, as Shazam now gets 3 seconds, and this is going to be the battle that's happening for P3 currently, but obviously once everybody makes their pit stops, it might be a different story. Now, Shazam 1 second back. Does he get the DRS though? Has he managed to just keep within the DRS of William, the Mercedes? He has not. He is outside DRS, but it looks like he has some good, decent straight line speed. And now the Mercedes does not have to worry about the RB for now on this current lap, and could just go ahead. But it looks like the Mercedes just sent it a bit deep. Iceman is into the pits. He's responded to his championship rival. This has turned into Mexico 2.0 in terms of pens. Yeah, the penalties is rampant around here. Imola is very penalty prone, but the Aston Martin, is into the pits and is go, and is wanting to try and get. As Cinders is on the back of DD Friend. Cinders might be starting to use this, as obviously he had front wing damage. His tyres though are a similar age of those ahead, but it looks like that the mediums are working out well for him. If he can use this, he is able to try and get back, as Keznator is right in front of his teammate Warner, and Warner's going to try and want to get past Keznator as soon as possible with them hard tyres. Keznator looks like he's defending the position though, and this is not going to be helping out Warner, who is showing some good pace. Warner locks up a little bit there. Keznator goes wide. That might be a warning, as Cowley is right ahead of them, and they're all losing out time here, as Warner has the better tyres, and I would say Keznator needs to let him go here, as Warner and Keznator has a little bit slide. Keznator is not giving up this position though, and wants to stay up here. Does he get any more time penalties? Might go a little bit wide, has a little bit of slide, and now Warner is right on the back of his teammate. Keznator does eventually move out the way and lets his teammate pass just very close here between the two, as Keznator looks like a little bit fighting that. I think he was fighting that a little bit more than he should have been, as Shazam is the next one to pit onto the hard tyres. And now Warner is up into P6, going to be P5 after the pit stop from Shazam, and is using the hard tyres as best as possible. He is on the back of Cowley now, as Keznator gets very close to the back of his teammate. Cowley going a little bit deep there. Can Warner get the switch back? He tries to get the switch back, but does not get it done. But then he switches back here. The Williams has a little bit of slip, and through goes the kick Sauber up into P4 after that slip at the start. And now he's going to be trying to use his pace to get away, but DD Friendly is starting to catch back up to these two, and is a lot of time, about 2.5 seconds ahead of Shazam. And Shazam needs to start using his hard tyres, but they need to warm up. Obviously Cinders is using time good, as is the yellow flag behind Iceman, who's just going a bit slowly, I think. Not sure what his pace is showing today, but he's losing that time to those ahead. Keznator gets another 3-second time penalty for running wide. This might be holding DD Friend up soon, but he's trying to get close to Keznator. 50 Gen gets 10 seconds as him and William are into the pits, and he has got a 10-second time penalty. Yes, Cinders is still in touch with DD Friend on them older mediums. But that 10 seconds is going to be detrimental to his race, as Privilege is still going on. It looks like he's showing good pace around here. As we'll see where these cars come out. DD Friend trying to get ahead of those ahead. He gets ahead of Keznator. Cinders trying to follow him through, but DD Friend does not get the DRS. Actually, they do get the DRS. Side by side, they all go. This is very close. Going in turn 1, Keznator has managed to stay ahead. Cinders is trying to go up the inside of the Alpine. The Alpine does not manage it. 3 seconds as Cinders just hops the curb there. And unfortunately, that was so close between all three of them. Keznator is trying to defend the position against DD Friend. I'm pretty sure for his teammate it should be, but DD Friend tries to switch back, does get the switch back on Keznator. Cinders is right behind him, but Cinders now tries to go up the inside of DD Friend and doesn't get the position, unfortunately. But DD Friend is now ahead of Keznator as they go side by side up the top of the crest of the hill. But Keznator is still on the inside. DD Friend has to be careful, and there is a tap. There is a little bit of a collision, and Keznator has a half spin, and that has allowed Cinders to get through, as unfortunately DD Friend has managed to get ahead for Keznator, and Keznator is going to be reeling at that, but you're pretty sure soon you should pit them mediums are starting to give out. Apparently, Cinders hit Kezinir, says Drac. We'll have to try and verify that later. Just let us know what lap and we will try and get it obviously in, but it is close battle, and now between all these drivers, 50 Gent is trying to gain the time on Warrener. Priv Widget is now into the pits, has the lead being given up. Warrener on them very old hards now might be starting to lose out on tyre wear, as 50 Gent is now up into the first position, and now this DRS is helping them out, and he is now the one in first place, the RB, right on the back of the Kick-Sauber, but is showing good pace, and 50 Gent now going up the inside of Kick-Sauber, is going for the move and gets ahead of Warrener, and Warrener has to cede that position as 50 Gent with that 10 seconds has unfortunately got Steedy Friend now gets 3 seconds, and that's detrimental to his race as his teammate is right behind him. 50 Gent, that 10 seconds is going to ruin his race and his chances, but he needs to start showing some good pace and getting away from these drivers if he wants to try and get ahead of all of them. Cinders on them old mediums is still showing signs of good pace as he is currently staying with the two Alpines who are on the hard tyres, but he's starting to drop back a little bit, might have to pit soon and just try and get ahead of all them. Kezinir is also onto the hard tyres now and is behind Cowley. Let's see how it goes for the Ferrari. Ferrari will need to pit soon as William has managed to catch back up into the DRS. Did Cinders get DRS there? He was close to the 1 second margin. So did he get it? We will have to see. But one thing's for sure, the Mercedes did get it. And he's going to be on the back of the Ferrari. The Ferrari does get DRS. So it's going to be a bit harder for the Mercedes to try and get past him. He's got to have the straight line speed, but he does get the drag. But we'll have Priv Widget going on his teammate. Gets ahead of his teammate. Does William move on Cinders? He does not. He backs out and just waits for later on as them tyres are starting to give up for Cinders. He takes a bit of a shallow line there, and the Mercedes is getting time, but he's not getting enough time. Cinders is not going to have DRS this time round, as Kezinir gets another 3 second time penalty, and all these time penalties will be moving drivers around I don't know where, because Imola is just rampant with them. But 50 Gent is starting to pull away. He's pulled away from Warrener, and Priv Widget is got to start gaining time now on Warrener, or he's not going to be gaining any time on 50 Gent. 50 Gent has got to start pulling away with that 10 seconds, or it's going to be detrimental to his race. And I love that word, detrimental. I've used it too many times in this race already. As we'll go on board with William, who has Shazam right on the back of them. They're going to be wanting to get past the Ferrari as soon as possible, and I think they just have to wait for the straight to do it, as the Ferrari is not going to get DRS, but these two drivers are going to get DRS in him, and potentially the Ferrari will have to pit soon. Steedy Friend is right on the back of his teammate. We'll look on board. Does Steedy Friend go for the move on his teammate as they try and gain time on Warrener and 50 Gent? As Priv Widget sets the fastest lap of the race and he's gained time. Cinders gets a 10-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane, and that is going to be ruining his race as well. The Ferrari now needs to try and gain 10 seconds on those competition he has, as well as the 3 seconds of penalties I believe he has. And now they've got to try and start gaining time on all the drivers. Warrener is losing a bit of time on those ahead of him, of 50 Gent ahead of him, and the RB has got to be gaining as much time as possible. But does he potentially serve that time penalty end, as there's no safety car looking like around here? As 50 Gent gets a 3 second time penalty. We'll actually look at the time penalties. 13 seconds for the RB. He's got to be careful now. Does he potentially pit later, as Cowley is just letting Kezinir pass? All these drivers have got to be careful, especially those ones with the larger penalties. Will the safety car come out? Trying to avoid that detrimental word. Yeah, you caught me. I'm using it way too much in this race. Priv Widget has lost out to his teammate there. Looks like he had a bad chicane, and he has lost out to DD Friend, but he is getting close. But William and Shazam behind him are starting to both gain time on the top three. But Warrener is obviously on the oldest tyres, but he's still showing good pace. Williams has the fastest lap of the race now, and is up there, as we'll go on board to have a look at the tyre age again. Who is the only driver to not stop? Warrener is the only driver to not stop in the race, so he does have to stop, and he's got to be careful of that 10-second penalty that so many drivers have gotten in this race already. But 50 Gent needs to gain a lot more time than he is gaining to be able to take the lead, as we are over halfway through this Grand Prix now, on lap 18. Looks like all the drivers are just starting to settle in. Priv Widget is right on his teammate. William went from 1 second to now 1.5. He is losing out a bit of time. He might have been pushing on that lap to try and get within that 1 second. Priv Widget is doing well to get no time penalties. We'll have a look at actually the race director. How many warnings does Priv Widget have? He has 1 warning. We'll have a look at the... Is there any more warnings for Priv Widget? I don't see any. I do not see any warnings for Priv Widget, as Priv Widget is right on the back of his teammate now. Very, very close to the back of DD Friend now, actually. As Kezinet gets another 3-second time penalty, and this is just starting to ruin his race a bit too much now. But here we go then on his teammate, as Warner is now into the pits. He's decided to pit now and most likely go onto the medium tyres to get himself to the end of the race, as Priv Widget is back up into P2 and he's going to try and be chasing after 5th Gen in P1. Warner is now pitted and will be coming out the pit soon. Iceman is going to be ahead of him. Will Kezinet, his teammate, be ahead of him? It doesn't look like the bottom 3 will be ahead of Warner, and Warner can now use their medium tyres until the end of the race, most likely, to get up into a good points paying position. And did not get 10 seconds, and also hasn't gotten any time penalties, which Iceman doesn't either. If Iceman doesn't get any time penalties, he might be licking his lips to have a good result here still, as he's way down. But DD Friend will not want that. He wants the best position as he can on Iceman, as that is his current championship rival. And until, I'm going to say this, if Iceman starts qualifying, he might be able to get that championship lead back. But DD Friend is not doing well right now, as he's now outside of second. And has lost out time. Shazam gets another 3-second time penalty for track limits, as DD Friend has lost out DRS to Priv Widget, and Priv Widget is starting to try and reel in the RB of 50 Gen, but the 50 Gen is just starting to eke out that gap just a little bit, a tenth a lap, but he needs to do a lot not more, as Priv Widget gets the fastest lap of the race. And now all these drivers are now separated by 1 second each. We'll stay on board with DD Friend to see if he gains any time on his teammate to get ahead of him as best as he can. Oof, now we can actually have a little bit of a break in this race. It has been some decent racing, I would say, from all those drivers. And been some close racing between all the drivers. So that has been an enjoyable thing to watch. How are you all enjoying this race? I hope you all are enjoying it immensely. You might be able to catch a breath. Yeah, hopefully. And that to hopefully be able to catch a breath. As DD Friend is starting to lose out time now to Priv Widget, which is not what he's needing to do with these time penalties. Are not going to be helping him out, especially when Iceman is starting to catch up just by a little bit. But yeah, it has been a strange one. I hope that I hope I did the lobby settings right. I might have done the lobby settings wrong, because it's my first time hosting the lobby, because the P's have been busy and that. So hopefully I got the lobby settings right. I might have to ask the race stewards later. So does 50 Jet have any time pens apart from 10 seconds? He does. He has 3 seconds. As we'll have a look just on board now, he does have 3 seconds of time penalties. So, he's got 13 seconds, and Priv Widget is gaining. However, he's went wide. DD Friend has went straight off, and that is a safety car. What has happened there? DD Friend has just went straight on. He must have slid or something, and the safety car is out, and he's going to be losing so many points to the championship. Second in the championship, the Aston Martin is going to be licking his lips right now, and now 50 Gen and Cinders and all them can get rid of those time penalties. Everybody can go to newer mediums to be able to get to the end of this race. Will Warren pit for new mediums? Most likely he will pit to make sure he's on those. I would say that's a smart idea. What has happened to DD Friend there? Kezinet is pitting for the soft tyres for some reason. As Cinders is pitting for the mediums. He's also pitting to get rid of his 10 seconds. Let's hope he doesn't get lapped, and those who are on the harder tyres can pit soon. I heard bleach tastes nice, says Pooch. No, honey, no. as unfortunately the Alpines will be upset at that one, and they will have to ask the friend what happened as 50 Gent is into the pits and making sure he does not speed this time to get rid of his 10 seconds privilege is also to the pits. Looks like every single driver is coming into the pit to get new mediums, and I would say Warren is also going to probably need to pit to get new mediums on if he wants to challenge for that race win with the pace he's being shown. I should stop watching Tier 3 team every time I watch something. The Drac apparently is the curse for the Alpine team. I might have, no, I'm sure as Warren decides not to pit, he wants to gain as much time as possible as those ahead. Where does he get up to then? He gets into P2 on them older mediums. Can he carry them to the end? As, yeah, the Alpine team is going to be upset at that one. Let's see if we can get a talk. Let's see if we can get DD Friend to say what had happened to us so we can get an explanation of why he DNF'd. But that is our safety car this race. And the Alpine team are not happy. But remember, they still have Priv Widget. Priv Widget is still in the lead of this race and can still try and win it for the team. He does not have any time penalties to combat with, whereas 50 Gent and those who were leading do have time penalties. Kezineta Cowley has decided to pit and get onto the fresh medium tyres, as well as all these drivers are now onto the fresh medium. Cinders is now going around the track and getting up to not a good week. 3 DNFs, 1 in each all tiers. Unfortunately, that is not helping the Alpine team, which, where is the Alpine in the standings, actually? We will have a look at that quickly. Where is the Alpine Constructors? The Alpines, who were leading this race, or who were leading, I think, initially for the Constructors, are now not leading. DD Friend has left the session. We'll see if we go to the showroom. No, sorry, not the showroom, the lounge, to see what has happened. I currently cannot see anything in the lounge, but DD Friend might just be trying to make sure that he's okay and calm after what happened in this race, as the safety car will most likely be going around again. Let's have a look at Tier 1 race results. We haven't got round 8 actually, but the Mercedes might be gaining on the Alpines this time round. Yeah, the Alpines are leading currently, but will they be leading after all these DNFs? If Privilege can get them some good points, they might be able to stay ahead, but I'm not sure how the Mercedes have been scoring recently. They could have been scoring good, and that might be upsetting for the Alpines. If anybody could let me know in the Alpine team what DD Friend has said, as he's not talking in the lounge. I think he's just trying to relax currently, and just make sure he gets a calm mind after that, as I think, well, yeah, he hasn't responded. I think he'll just be trying to calm down after that. So let's make sure we go into space. I'm sorry, I'm just taking a breather while I can, but the safety car should be in this lap, and we should be getting back on. As there you go, you get the message that the safety car is in this lap. And now we will be getting back underway. Welcome, Sneaky. Thank you for following. He touched the curb slightly and the car went on. Oh, yes, I've seen that happen plenty of times. As Dex says, gutted. I've watched it happen plenty of times. I've done it plenty of times. It's just unfortunate. But he is now out of this race, and of course our safety cars will go on board with the other Alpine as we have 9 laps to go in this race. The Alpine has decided to go now. Has caught Warner a little bit slacking. Can 50 Gent get ahead of the kick Sauber. As the kick Sauber going to try and gain as much time as he can. Any move being made further back. Kesnet on the soft tyres is trying to get ahead and does get ahead of Iceman. He's trying to go for it on the freshest tyres. Let's see what he's able to do in that kick Sauber. If he can get any good point positions, as Cowley gets another 3-second time penalty. Cinders is right on the back of him as well. Can Cinders get, he goes around the outside, almost riding the grass a little bit, but Cowley defends it and stays ahead of him as Iceman is trying to look for the kick Sauber, but Iceman doesn't have to do much as he's already gained time. What's Cowley's penalties? We'll have a look now. Cowley's penalties is 6 seconds, and will most likely lose out to Cinders if Cinders stays on the back end. Warrener on them older mediums is not catching up as much as he wants onto the Alpine, but Kesnet is using the softs to his advantage with all them time penalties. He needs to use it, and there's another 3-second time penalties. And unfortunately, there's a lot of time penalties for Kesnet to combat with, but he's trying to gain as much time on all these drivers as possible, as he has a little bit of a slide through there, and Shazam has got a good chicane there, so he's trying to gain the time on William. William could be trying to get ahead of those ahead to be able to gain some time on Priv Widget, but Warren has not managed to gain the DRS. So unless he gains the DRS, this Priv Widget is trying to check out of there and gain the Alpines as much points as possible as he gets the fastest lap of the race and tries to gain as much time. But Warrener is starting to catch up. Looks like he has good straight line speed compared to the Alpine. The Alpine might have been trying to get as much time as possible on that lap, but can Warrener now use his, as he makes a mistake? The Priv Widget has made a mistake, and that has brought Warrener, who was sat right at the back at the start of this race, right back into contention for the race win with 7 laps to go. He's got all the tyres, but he has been shown some tremendous pace, and he hasn't dropped off yet, so the kick Sauber can bring it back and get his win. But he has to combat 50 Gent and those behind who all have time penalties. So if he manages to keep them all in and gets ahead of Priv Widget at least before the line finishes, then he will come home in first place. But can Priv Widget stay ahead of him? Priv Widget now doesn't have DRS. The Alpine is going to be a sitting duck on the straight, especially if Warrener has greater straight line speed than he does. Let's see what the Alpine does. The Priv Widget trying to get as much time through possible. He's going to have to try and burn a little bit of ERS to get away from Warrener. He is now 7/10 ahead of Warrener. Is that enough to defend against the position? Opens the DRS, does the kick Sauber, and it looks like he's not gaining enough time on Alpine to be able to get anything done in the first place, but he might have more ERS next time around as long as he stays within, as Cowley goes for the move on Iceman. Iceman has dropped back all of a sudden on the hard tyres. Why is he dropping back? Because those hard tyres are not going to be as fast as Priv Widget. Got a 3 seconds. Sorry, I missed that. He now has 3 seconds. If Warrener doesn't get 3 seconds, Warrener is looking in a good place for the win of this race. And guess what that means? If 50 Gent and that try and go for the move on the Alpine, then they will be in the net position. Priv Pen is not going to help the Alpine team, as my voice is starting to break now from the ending of this race. 6 laps to go. It is now all down to this. It is a sprint to the end. 50 Gent is right on the back of Warrener. Warrener is right on the back of the Alpine. The Alpine is trying his best to get away, but it's just not working out for him. The Warrener is now within 4 tenths, might be even within 3 tenths towards the end here. And oh my god, my voice is breaking. I really should get a drink of water pretty soon here, hopefully. Warrener, the kick Sauber, lost a little bit of time there. Alpine might be trying to, Priv Widget might be trying to get away now, but Warrener might be licking his lips. He might be saying, give this position here. He's actually just buying his time because he knows that 3 seconds is going to help him and might give him the win at the end of this race. Warrener will get a pen for sure, says Pucci, but is he going to definitely get pen as Cinders is now out of the race, and that's the last safety car of this race. Cinders has binned it, and now that 3 seconds is not going to be helping Priv Widget, as they will most likely go to the end now on this. There'll be no more safety cars, and my fault, cause Priv the win tonight in Alpine 1-2 friend, check Alpine chat. I don't know if Warren is smart, he just calms it right down and holds DRS. Yeah, let's see if Warren just stays behind in the DRS. That'll be the smartest move for him, as long as he stays ahead of those and stays within 3 seconds of Priv Widget. He has got this race. As long as he doesn't get another time penalty, then he is set to secure it. But with this safety car, that has ruined all the people's with time penalties chances, and the end of this race is going to be very, very interesting now. Let's see how it goes. The Alpines are obviously not going to be happy with this race at all. As Warner, what's he done? Warner has decided to pit for soft tyres. What is he doing? Maybe them tyres were starting to give out. Oh my god. He has decided to pit and get the freshest tyres, but he has to get past everyone and get, again, 3 seconds to the Alpine. The Alpine might be able to just get away. Are the soft tyres really going to help him in 3 laps? Are they going to be that beneficial against those mediums? But the mediums are starting to drag out. This race has turned completely on its head at the end here. Ballsy. It is ballsy. But if Warren, yeah, like you say, if Warner picks up a penalty, that could be the end of this race. Gonna have to hope for some really clean passes and not much fighting. Yes, he is. Which, actually, we will check this out. Does Warner have any penalties? He has 1 penalty, 1 warning. Does he have any more? It does not look like it. The Kick Sauber was still going through here. Warner only has 1 warning. He has 2 to play with. Yeah, he might push too hard, but he only has 1 warning. If he can race cleanly, get ahead of those, he might be able to do it. Let's see. Is the safety car in this lap? Is it a late call from the safety car? It looks like it's not. It's going to be 1 more lap for everyone, and it is going to be helping those ahead. Next one's a pen. No, he's... Really? Warner, 1. Oh, 2. It is. Next one is a penalty. So, 1 warning in it to potentially ruin this race for him. This is going to be a sprint to the end, guys. And it could be a very interesting one. Can the Alpine secure P1? Will 50 Gent go for it? Will William go for it? Can Warner get back up there after being right at the back at the start of this race? Can he get up into P1 with those time penalties? Can he avoid one on them soft tyres with 2 laps to go after the safety car? Let's see how it goes for him. It is going to be interesting. It's going to be delightful to watch the end of this race. And yes, we will see how it goes. Then the safety car should tell us after this corner that it is in. As we look, Sneaky still has a chance while everyone has... Yes, he does, but he only has 1 warning to play with. And if he battles too hard, he might get a warning in the end. Let's see how it goes then for Warner, but we'll go on board with Privilege, who'll be leading your restart, and will want be trying to pull away as much as possible to those behind him. As what is happening back here, Kazane and Cowley are getting right upside... Oh! Iceman gets a 10-second time penalty for a collision with Cowley, as Keznator is trying to get right beside him, which is also not allowed, I must say, Keznator. Just be careful of that one there. But 10 seconds to Iceman, and he might be getting last this race, as now the Alpine has gone. Go, go, go. He has got a good restart, but not as good as a restart as he did last time. 50 Gent is still trying to be on the back of him. Does Warner go for the move now? I think if he wants to get past, he has to go for the move now or soon. on Iceman as he's not close enough as I think he wanted to be, as Kezinita tries to go for the move on Cowley, but Cowley defends it and stays up into P6 as they are starting to lose time out already on those ahead, and that's not going to be helping Warrener in this battle. He needs to get ahead of all these drivers as soon as possible. He's got the freshest tyres, he's got the freshest softs as Iceman looks to defend the position. Warrener has a little look up the inside, decides to not go for it, but he does have fresher tyres. He needs to get past as soon as possible. There's only 2 laps to go. He goes around the outside, well, inside, turns to the outside for the Iceman and gets ahead. Now behind his teammate. Will his teammate let him through potentially as they all bound position? He does. Kezinita lets him through, being the team sport, lets him through, and now he's right on the back of Cowley. So much, look at how much speed he has against the, oh, that was a little bit of lag from the Williams there. Look how much overspeed he has on the Williams. The Williams trying to defend the position, does defend it, but Warrener goes for a little bit of a switchback. Kezinita is now under pressure from Iceman, who's still on board back here. 5th Gen is starting to lose a bit more time to those ahead, but Warrener is just not gaining the time, or is not getting through as quickly he wants on the Williams, and he's already out 4 seconds on those ahead, and he needs to do so much in these last couple of laps to get within 3 seconds of all those drivers ahead as Cowley is trying to pull away. He's ruining the Kick-Sauber's chances to get up into P1 or any podium position. As Kezinita and Iceman are battling, Kezinita manages to stay ahead, but hops the curb there a bit too much, and Iceman is right on the back of him. Cowley is now out of position and lets through Kezinita and Iceman and backs out and drops down to last place. Can Warrener use all this time at the end? Yeah, apparently Warrener has lost a lot of time. I don't think the softs are going to help him to gain as much time as I think he needs to gain, especially with the DRS helping out all these top 4 at the end, as we will change it. So we look at the time penalty. Shazam is going to be losing out the podium, but William is back onto the podium. 5th Gen is in P2, but he's gained it within a second. If he can get Priv Widget on this last lap, as 50 Gen, who gets a time penalty there? 6 seconds to 50 Gen. Kezinita got 21, Iceman's on 13, Cowley's on 6, Kezinita gets another 3 seconds, he's on 24. As 6 seconds now, it's costing 5th Gen P2 and the chance for P1. If William wants P1, he has to go for the move soon. But looks like 50 Gen doesn't care. He wants the move done now, and he goes past the Alpine. Sorry, I missed that. I clicked the wrong button, and he's up ahead of the Alpine. The Alpine trying to have a look back on the inside, but if he's smart, he just sits behind him and makes sure that William doesn't get past. Warrener has not gained as much time as he needs to gain. He needs to gain so much time in this last lap to get ahead. He might be able to still secure a podium unless these are battling all at the end. As we have a look, Kezinita and those Iceman are all battling at the back there for the last point of the race. As Warrener is the only person to not get a time penalty. Last lap of this race. Here we go then. Will Priv Widget be able to stay behind, ahead of Williams, sorry, or Warrener is not gained as much time as he has. Them soft tyres have not worked out for the Kick-Sauber, and the Kick-Sauber is not gained as much time. There's not been much battling up ahead. So who is going to win this race? 50 Gent most likely will come across the line in P1, but Priv Widget looks like he's been set for the Alpine win. Priv Widget can bring it home this lap. Warrener might be able to still secure P3 potentially with all the time penalties, but looks like 5th Gen is coming home P1 on track, but Priv Widget is going to be your winner after time penalties. William gets up P2. Can Warrener get up to P3 or P4? He only gets up to P4. He just misses out on the podium. Shazam gets P5. Warrener apparently has DNF there, but he definitely did not DNF as he just left the session. As Warrener gets P4. Let's remember that. As it's wrong. Finally, something to be happy about. Yes, after a horrible week, Priv does get the win. As 50 Gent gets a P3. A nice podium to end it there for the RB. William had managed to bring it back up to the podium. As here we go then. Priv Widget is your race winner. William P2, 5th Gent P3. It says Warner is last because he finished because he DNF, but he did not DNF. As you can see, he's only 3 seconds behind the lead, so technically he is in P4. Shazam is in P5, Cowley in P6, Iceman P7, Kezano comes on P8, and 9 and 10. And 9-10 goes to Cinders and Different as they unfortunately DNF. Team Diaz, thank you so much for following. And that has been your race there, as we'll try and quickly get the race director. I couldn't unfortunately get it in time. But that has been your Tier 3 race around Imola. Thank you everyone so much for watching. It was a good Tier 3 race this week, and we will make sure to see you all next week. I hope everyone has enjoyed, and I will see you all next time for the Tier 3 race, which actually I'll get it up on what that will be. The race calendar. Tier 3 next week is Qatar. So make sure everybody brings down their downforce and, well, actually up their downforce, but make sure that they bring their A game this week and the ice baths. But thank you all so much for watching Tier 3, and I will see you all next week.